Watch this country fine, fine, so big fool. Big man put entire, so big fool. Look at with him we get lipstick, so big fool. This nation don't turn, so big fool. BSc, MSc, PhD, they're so big fool. The one they will look at this country, so big fool. And then same one they spoil this country, so big fool. Big English, big jargon, so big fool. See them in our parliament, so big fool. See them in our law court, so big fool. See them full up now in state house, so big fool. See them chairman, director, so big fool. Party supporters, so big fool. We party supporters, so big fool. We safe way they so far, so big fool. Yes, they why you say now they want them, they want this and they want ya. Now this with the pan, so draw. Politics don't mess with progress as a people. Politics don't put wedge together to the things we hold us together. Hey, salute, see how we done deeply divided along politics and party line. Oh. So pull the tribal, let's come out. Put the regional, let's come out. Pull party, let's come out. And when nationalists, so follow you see waiting at the talk. So big fool. So big fool. And so big fool. This nation no longer act together as one. We common interest don't talk about and cronies of corruption. Every day we holler corruption. We then catch the poor teachers, they put them in a cutting fee. We then catch that poor boy, then put on a Bademba road. But the one waiting 100, then say bring 20. 80 left now you hand. We make 'em papi show. Hey, salon, so big fool. So big fool. Who is fooling who? Big fool. Now who da they fool who da? Big fool. The thing way piss me off, but all the wahala way we they face. Na salute. So grumble, so hardship, economic downtrodden, unemployment look and park, subhuman bondage, and not up till they begin. No, don't get me wrong. You get what I say? Not up till they begin. No, don't get me wrong, because this country, if you talk through, then go give and color. Jesus, then go put me aside and not be longer. So big fool. Lose your face. So big fool. You see, the two are the two, I make you tight your face. Look that one, then I mean they go on pan big fool. So big fool. We wait and thief, we wait and rob. All the money wait and thief, then put na overseas account for the open factory na this nation for his employment. For the open factory na this nation for help the youth, for give innovative ideas, for bring creative knowledge. For see waiting the left the week. Big fool. And the thing we painful from all this, my brother. Hey, salute. Now we wait they suffer, now we they protect them. We then cage thief man them na this country. Hey, now we sympathy supporters, they come up for protect them. We they change the narrative. We take and make tribal business. We change the narrative. We take and make regional politics. We change the narrative. We turn on party politics. So but you forget for no say you picking them future today. Now you compromise. So forget for no say we tomorrow bamba now we compromise. So them wealth and them picking them they overseas. Why make them wires so go lead we? They not able build better hospital for we. They not able build better universities. They not able build better factories. So we young one then don't collect, then go get work for do. We no go get brain drain. We know they get brain drain. See we young doctors. Now them back na Ghana so. See we young doctors. Now then they oversee. See we young teachers. Now then so they Gambia. See we young brain them. Now then so they now the diaspora. Wait temporon. See how we sister, then they suffer na Lebanon, eh. See how we brother, then they suffer na Libya, eh. So man die na sea. Hey, Salon, which kind leader the way we get? But now we same one where they support them, now we they don't jump that trees. Where we meet party supporters, now we defend we self. Good neighbor see, they know they talk. Good pambo see. Then not they talk. Hey, salute. So big fool. So big fool. See ya, hey, so big fool. Look with him wig and lipstick. So big fool. See him with him coat and ties. So big fool. See better. So big fool. Ah, so big fool. This country is. All these things, party supporters are so big fool. Excuse me, big fool.
Alright, welcome, good morning. This is my program, Korea Settle. We are on YouTube and on Facebook. One for say sorry. Yesterday we know actually able for come for the program and on Saturday as well. But I been don't take permission before, but still. I know they talk about money, I talk about net. So but still really big for that short break day. But we don't come back today, so one for say Kushe and Kabo. And today, the paper then down, but we get guests them where they can talk about different things. And remember, say, yesterday now be Armed Forces Day. And we will get different things that we actually happen, different things that we happen yesterday. But we get a very sensitive discussion over we can do this morning. Because this one very much important, especially now I think that the right time this for we actually discuss something like that one day. The role of the military in Sierra Leone. Now for serve the nation or now for serve the president. When they talk about the president, when they talk about president generally. Now for serve the nation or now for serve the president. We get people where they can join me inside the program this morning. As enshrined by the constitution, that is to say how italic inside the constitution, what the constitution say about the role of the military, because even right now, as they say serving the nation. So now for serve the nation or now for serve the president, and all of this now we can discuss inside the program this morning, and then we go add them with other things. Then for later the discussion, look get some gravy better one inside the program this morning. But for now. We did try to figure out how we guests that they come inside quickly. Yes, one of our guests don't join me inside the program. One don't join me. He don't join me inside the program. And interesting, I'm happy to get this one also because him basically don't be military correspondent at one time. That's now where he been done they deal with the military. Good fasting one. He done they go inside the to be military, but in background self he get military background. What I mean in Papa. And where himself become journalist, he get interest per soldier man, but he not go inside the soldier, but indirectly go inside the soldier because even they talk, one time they report things and way they happen now the soldier, the army. So he did with we inside the program for let we come and see waiting and waiting the constitution say and waiting we see now they happen inside the military. If not so it's supposed to be. And then we expect for get another person inside the program later on for let we actually see what we can do. We'll get another person inside the program later on. So but now we don't get Edward. Edward, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Samuel Pierre, and good morning to listeners.
All right, Edward Mara from the Informant newspaper. Edward, thank you. I see the massive piece we put together.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. And Edward, yesterday na Armed Forces Day. Take me back. Armed Forces Day, we know say they can do march past, display the strength of the military. At the same time, we've been seeing them build something na cutting tree by State Avenue. Aside and say for the member them, fallen heroes them and other things them, they can make lady picking as well, see what everything they happen inside. So take me through how this thing don't become symbolic over the years.
Well, Armed Forces Day, if we can take people and back to history, first before this time, they call her my own day.
My own parade.
Yes, my own parade, where they may always be the gets every year, and basically standing up for honor, we gallant men and women, where they don't sacrifice, for defend. Peace and security across the world. Family remember Sierra Leone at a point in time we don't send troops for go fight now Cameroon, then we don't contribute troops for go help now the Biafra war na Nigeria, then we don't also be help for go fight now the Burma war, then we don't also be help then go fight now ECOMOC na Liberia. And even before the ECOMOC fight in Liberia, 1988, 89, 90, when the war been broke out, say the British colony at the time, then we get this frontier, force. So Sierra Leone have been part of the frontier force. So many of the areas then be where the British been the encounter, challenges, then they make sure say Sierra Leone be the lead, at the international area. For bring peace and stability in many countries the way they may contribute troops because when it becomes about the issue of infantry, Sierra Leone we get one of the best infantry.
So where would you talk about infantry? What do you mean?
Well, if infantry, this now troops them way Sierra Leone sometimes we're very good at guerrilla warfare. Where in soldiers then they go to the war front, then go crawl over how many miles away just because they want to forget the targets and get the enemies them, shut down. Then not too much get that conventional war where you go use airplane, you go use alpha jets, you go use air strike like where the war goes so now. German and Russia, we see with the Russian helicopters that they warship and they move with and tankers that and they move with other equipment there. So basically, Sierra Leone not being too much exposed to that level there. But when it comes about the guerrilla warfare, where now for just go on the ground, forget at the enemy, they've been very good at that. So as a result of that kind of expertise, where Sierra Leone belong gets. The final say when the war been the Biafran war in Nigeria, we just saw the Cameroonian war, we get the Liberian war, and even at a point in time, the India they also been contribute, for send troops now them part of the world. So they may not contribute a lot, particularly so the Burma war will be make a lot of name. Sierra Leone was rated as one of the best countries the way them be helped for in the Burma war. So back down the history, we will not make a very good name. So as a result of that, then so okay, Lord get a special day when my own day because then at the Battle of Honor where the in Sierra Leone, after the Burma War, so the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, before then they come to be get the Sierra Leone regimental force, where na decided and then the way we under did them be joined when at the Sierra Leone later on the Sierra Leone Army, if I now say that honor where the country been get, then say and say, okay, this we get for user now every year for celebrate them and for member the contribution of them with gallant men and women where them go fetch them what they are and say them come with this baton of honor. So then we get this my own the way it will take place every year until after 2000 and after the war, they get for do the restructuring of the Sierra Leone Armed Forces, where they may get the International Military Advisory Team, when I IMAT, where they may come for restructure the Sierra Leone Army, and later on from advisory training team, then may also be stay again with a skeletal force, a team on the ground, where then be basically been the advice the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces on the military technical areas and other areas there of support. So when his former president Anes Bakoma been take over power, by then the Minister of Defense was Paulo Conte. Then she answer, well, we're not going to contribute, always they celebrate, years that we don't go contribute, like the areas that we don't mention that we don't go contribute to troops and we don't serve, we don't get equity, we don't come back. They say, but Lord, we also get a reflection of we serve as a country that at a point in time, the army again as we don't contribute a lot, for make sure say them fight the war, now Liberia, then come back home, we your internal conflicts again, and fight the fight na salon, till the war done. They say, okay, let we just take all of them war they are, we don't go fight as a country, and let we get a national day. We'll go put all of them here together and now get a single day we'll go able to observe, and commemorate as part of recognizing the work of the RSLAV and also the officers and men of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. So under the leadership of the then Minister of Defense and also the Commander-in-Chief, former President Koma, then be established, February 18, as Armed Forces Day. They say this na a day now we do not put aside now. Instead of we get my own day now, we be just specifically be limited to the one that we then go fetch outside Sierra Leone. But also get something now we go cover all of the NTN, including Liberia, ECOMOC war now, the Sierra Leonean war, not get the Armed Forces Day. So then we declare February 18, where then be commemorate yesterday, for remember the contribution of our men and women, in the promotion of peace and stability. And more importantly, as even they observe them period and they afterward and be not even declared and they will be not seen now. From that period, they will see Sierra Leone also begin go on the UN peacekeeping force. We begin get the Sudan, the sense on them Somalia. We also begin sense on them back in Sudan. So then we don't go then do international peacekeeping and even as I talk to you now, we then get some team where in Mali where they also they contribute to the peace process there. So they not come of age, and then I think say a day like the February 18 where they celebrate yesterday is worth celebrating, but again it's a moment to get for Sudan back and reflect as a country that they are Slav. There is more that is needed to be done.
Now this reflection actually they can go into seriously reflection for see also come out also day right now, and specifically one for look now at the role of the military, yeah. Because we know say right now they say like the police and say force for good, the military then say serving the nation. So we now based on this and the constitution we ask the question now military for serve the nation or now the military where they serve the president alone. At the detriment of the people. So now all of that we can look at inside there and the eye is supposed to be by the constitution. So now intro that welcome again inside the program. Farouk, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Segwe Pierre. Good morning, we are listeners. Good morning, Mama Salon. It's a pleasure and an honor to be hosted on this program. Thank you so much.
We're glad you as well forget you. In name now Farouk Abdul Karim Sise. Farouk, now let me go quickly and begin look at the military. The military in modern day Sierra Leone. What do you feel say supposed to be the role?
Come again, sir?
The military inside the country in modern day Sierra Leone, what do you feel say suppose the role supposed to be?
But listening to Edward Mara, he gave we a fine piece of historical narrative on the involvement and the work of the army, which was good. It take us way back and make we offer keep us in the loop. But like we said, the armed forces, we know say they've been formed after independence in 1961, and it gets a role where within the framework of the 1991 Salon Constitution and within international laws, where then they adhere to and then they fit in within. Basically, with a bird's eye view, we know say that the military for be responsible for territorial security now we country in borders and for defend the national interest of Salon within the framework of the 1991 Constitution. And you don't need to be a government student for know basically the role of the military in a country. Because we know that the role of a military in a country, it depends on the political and social economic context of any country. But generally, anybody will go wake up from a sleep and you ask him, because say now for protect and serve the country in sovereignty, for defend in territory and borders, and maintain international security and stability. Okay. So basically, without bias, this will be its role. And that the Constitution, 1991 Constitution stipulates.
Okay, so since you don't go inside the Constitution directly, we mean say a good that we talk everything we get for do with the Constitution and not mislead people at this particular point. So let's just make attempt quickly and see if I'm able for go inside the Constitution and get people something. So if we go inside the Constitution, chapter 2, of the Constitution, where they talk about fundamental principles of state and policies. Then we go down to section 5, and we specifically want to look at B. Yeah, subsection section 5B. Yeah, this now waiting it say. It say B, the security, peace, and welfare of the people of Sierra Leone shall be the primary purpose and responsibility of government. And to this end, it shall be the duty of the armed forces, the police, public officers, and all security agents to protect and safeguard the people of Sierra Leone. And maybe we go down to the next one when I see, if last year we get, because it look like one connect with. It says, and the participation of the people in the governance of the state shall be assured in accordance with the provision of this Constitution. Farouk, if you get that one there clearly, what do you think?
It's clear cut. Putting politics aside and looking at the literary rule or the explanation, it's not being equivocated, it's unequivocal. It says it exactly as it's written out there in black and white. If I can bring you to that, basically, when they talk about defense, when they talk about internal security, these are the two main things we pertain to a country in relation to the military or the armed forces. We get different branches. Look at him clearly. Not talk about the internal security. The military may also be called upon to support law enforcement agencies in maintaining internal security or stability and combating domestic threats such as terrorism, insurgency, or civil unrest. And then you go to the basic one where they talk about defense. Now, the primary role of the military, when for defense the country against external threats, including taking the national security. It's simple. It's like it's a doodle. I don't know why people are worried about the role of the military. That is the role of the military, to defend and to serve the nation and its people.
Yes, the watchword in this thing are for protects, the people, the sovereignty. When you talk about sovereignty, talk about the people generally. Edward, what do you take on this? On the role of how the state for be run and the state apparatus, the state entities, them, the security forces, them.
Basically, like we said, it should be or what you call apolitical, enough for being politically biased, and for serve in commander-in-chief, where the president and the administrative or the political head of the army. Either it can be the minister of defense, it can be the defense chief of staff. The primary role now waiting they don't clearly cut out in the constitution.
I just love something when you talk just now, Farouk. You say for serve the commander in chief. Now that's how you say?
No. I say for serve at the behest of the commander in chief, where the commander-in-chief, when I know the president, will encapsulate the legislature, the executive arm, because he is the head of the army. He is the head of the army as commander-in-chief. But in no Seleko say the military wing, when at the administrative and the defensive side, they're apolitical, they're biased. And as far as I'm concerned, they are following the rules laid down. I don't know where you're coming from, unless you want to lay it out for me thick and fast. Where you coming from?
The only thing we I want to ask now, basically, now that we put say, okay, Sierra Leone army. The question is, serving the nation or serving the president?
Serving the nation. Serving the nation. That is their fundamental role and clear control. They are serving the nation. Unless you prove to me, say they are not serving the nation. It's clearly written out there, and they're serving the nation. And if you listen to the speech, the short message with the president gave yesterday, he said, as we honor the bravery, sacrifice, and resilience of our armed forces, we are reminded of the profound debt of gratitude we owe to those who have served and continue to serve our beloved nation with unwavering dedication. What else can you read from that? Do you want from that? It's not a rhetoric.
Okay, so like how it you inside, Edward, did you get me?
Yes.
Edward, I will ask you the same question. Based on waiting, I don't read from the Constitution. Me not to lost somebody. I just want for read in the black and white ID, and maybe I don't even know the meaning of them. But the question I will put to you: Sierra Leone army serving the nation or serving the president?
Well, I know just one for repeat what me brother don't say, Paul don't say. I think he don't lay a very constitutional provisional basis of which the RSLAV was established. And we all know that the army get the responsibility, for serve the people of Sierra Leone. And then there is a catch there also that they get the responsibility for protect and secure civil authority. And the civil authority there is the government of the day. The government of the day is the civil authority. And if you are talking about the civil authority, the government of the day, who is the head of government? The head of government is the president. So by extension, they are not basically serving the president as an individual, but the office that he holds, which is the civil authority, where the fountain of honor and commander-in-chief, like my brother don't say. So more importantly in all of this, the RSLAV therefore be reminded of their constitutional responsibility to the people of Sierra Leone, we are not think say at any point in time, therefore compromise. which is number one, to serve the people of Sierra Leone, and also by extension, the civic authority of the people of Sierra Leone. Because we all know in the formation of a government, the government, they say, is by the people and for the people. So if the people of Sierra Leone decided for form a government and have somebody to be as the head of that government, it shows that the individual is representing also the people of Sierra Leone. And because they get that kind of responsibility, then therefore make sure say, number one, they serve the people and also the civic authority where the people also don't entrust in their care. Having said that, I also believe say the army has no business. The army has no business to be involved in politics. The military, they are not politicians, and they should not be in politics. They should not be involved in politics in any form. And even for the fact that we have now got multi-party constitution, there's a democracy now in place. All what the military is responsible or is required of doing at this point in time, now for make sure say they protect with constitution. Because this is a multi-party constitution. We are in a democratic state, and the responsibility lies in the hands of the military now for make sure say that sacred document, which is our constitution, to be protected and secured at every given time, so that nobody no will come and try for unblock that constitution day and do likewise or impose himself in the illegal way, like whether through a form of a coup or whatever means, because the 1991 constitution don't make it very clear that for you to be declared as president of Sierra Leone, you have to be voted in by the people of Sierra Leone. So in that direction, I think say they therefore be very much mindful of the responsibility, which is to protect and secure the territorial integrity of our country, our borders, both air, both land, and sea. And secondly, to ensure that the civic authority is also being protected vis-a-vis the constitution and the government elected by the people. So that clear distinction has to be there. And I think, say, the reason why sometimes people in the beginning look at the military with that kind of bad eye is when you get some few elements, out of political excitement or sycophancy, they can come and begin to align themselves with politicians. The military has no business to align yourself with politicians and even involved with the politics of Sierra Leone. If you look at chapter 6 of our constitution, also make it very clear for you as a military person, if you want to come into politics, that anybody when a member of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, you want to contest a public office, whether you want to be a honorable, whether you want to be the president of Sierra Leone, you want to contest for the president of Sierra Leone, you want to contest for paramount chieftaincy election, you want to contest for a councillor, whatever public office that is an elected office, when you want to attain that position, they say if you resign. If you resign, you come back as a civil, you transform yourself to a civilian back, and you can now and contest for the position again.
Okay.
But,
so Mara, just make clear people see this thing where you talk about so right now, and maybe read and directly, word by word, let people understand exactly. So if you go now to chapter 11, where they basically inside the 1991 Constitution they talk about the armed forces, yeah, and section 165. Go down. So basically, if you take section 165, subsection 2, yeah, it talk about the principal function of the armed forces, where it say shall be to guard and secure the Republic of Sierra Leone and preserve the safety and territorial integrity of the state, to participate in its development, to safeguard the people's achievement, and to protect this constitution. No member of the armed forces shall hold office as president, vice president, a minister or deputy minister, or be qualified for election as a member of parliament once he remains a member of the armed forces. You know, this one's very clear, and we see say it not really dey happen. But what can bring the problem now? Now, because of the president, we now don't be the head of the military, basically the council of the military, or what you call them, where in a chairman of the council of armed forces, I think that's what they call them. You correct me, Amara. So you find out, say, in as much as the military is supposed to be apolitical, but with the head being a politician, it makes sure, say, some set of the military then be political. What do you think?
Well, you know, by the constitutional provisions, and then you look at how the security system is being structured vis-a-vis the RSLAV. For example, the RSLAV, the professional head of the RSLAV, now the chief of defense staff.
Yes.
Then, if you come to the administrative head of the Minister of Defense, now the Director General of Minister of Defense. Where they do handle all administrations. And in fact, maybe that is also a subject of discourse, because then again, during the restructuring process, I think I write an article on that one of the things that we don't begin, where they unbug the military small. You know, before this time, the military, they had their own budget separately. They have their own administration. They have their own internal administration. Because if you look at the military, you have personnel the way then trained basically on administration. They are soldiers, but they are administrators. They get on their way and train on combat. They get on their way and train on different fields. So it's a whole institution where they get all the expertise in every area. But when we get the restructuring, doing Pakaba, where the IMAT they become, you know, then pull the administration aspect of the military in the hands of the military, that then bring the civilian component, then give the civilian. And so the military, where they know the problems, they know the challenges and everything, they know what are the budget requirements, how they get for respond to this, because mind you, they are more dealing with operational issues. So because of that, sometimes if you have this civilian oversight, sometimes you need operational activities for embark on, you get for come first to the Director General Minister of Defense, the civilian component, for let able for come back and try for justify, and maybe time is running out for let when I don't need a timeline that this operational aspect will be achieved within this benchmark. Sometimes it create delay, and because it create delay, they also undermine the effective functioning of the army. But let me don't go into that. Mark now to the question we asked me, maybe find time to discuss about this administration within the Ministry of Defense and the RSLAF and all that. So when you come back now to the president, the president is the Minister of Defense. And I think one of the person who break that record, the first person for appoint, you know, for release that authority, then before my President Kuma, where nine first appoint Paulo Conte as Minister of Defense. So it take him power in as Minister of Defense, he dedicates him to, you know, Paulo Conte. So Paulo Conte was the first, you know, Minister of Defense. All the previous ones, then be even by Inganoman and Mindede, have been Deputy Minister of Defense. Pakaba was the Minister of Defense. Well, Ambassador Joe Blair was appointed again. Ambassador Joe Blair was Deputy Minister of Defense, and Pakaba was Minister of Defense. But when Aneskoma came, he changed that narrative. And again, when President Buron came, himself, he appoints retired Brigadier, you know, Kelly Conte as a full Minister of Defense, and then after which currently they have a Deputy Minister of Defense. So President Bio also don't even take again that aspect now of being the Minister of Defense. So it's something that it borders on a lot of trust and then and security confidence. But having said that, because of that constitutional provision that the president is commander-in-chief of the armed forces, and also he's the chairman for the Defense Council. Yes. Automatically, you know, when you look at the chain of command at the army, obviously the president gets a professional oversight over the activities of the army and the Ministry of Defense.
So this not be the exact question where I put to you. So if that
because like for example, for even promotion, I not say all other ranks, I not say all junior officials, but senior officials, every appointment is being approved by the commander in chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, which is the president, and then that tells you that he gets a professional authority over the military also. Okay. So these are areas that maybe with time, when we army grow to some level, then we begin look at that, so that the army will be kind of autonomous in terms of the operational aspect of it, and then also the accountability aspect. Okay. But as of now, that is what the Constitution
says. So that all you did quickly, and I come with you, Farouk. This is not the Constitution again. We talk about, the Defense Council where we talk about. It gets like different people. Number one, the president where the chairman, you get the vice president, you get the minister where responsible for defense, of course, the minister of defense, you get the chief of defense staff, you get the commander of the armed forces, where basically the army, navy, and air forces, and you as well get a deputy. And then you get the Minister of Internal Affairs, same way, so they're part of the council, and two other people them where the president, by time to time, they appoint them. Now them people are from part of the defense. So in as much as we pull army from the political part of the country, but politics as well, they inside the army, because politicians as well, they always do things them and take decisions with the army. Farouk.
Okay, thank you. I'd only see to Edward, you don't give me a very succinct and crystal clear explanation or narrative. But let I remind you again. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, say, now the custodian of making sure that the Constitution is being adhered to, the Constitution by politicians is not being abused. Mm-hmm. But the role of the military or its involvement in politics in any country is complex, is multifaceted, and it also depends on a range of factors, including the country in political climate and in level of development. Not a one size fits all. If we come to a country, Sierra Leone, I don't see when I don't give me the formation, the framework, and the people them where they within the Council of Defense. But one thing they fail to realize, just like with the separation of powers, where they can say, there's separation of power. There's no clear-cut separation of powers. We get the fountainhead of justice. We're not the president. So when they go say, why you get involved in judicial decisions? No, the Constitution laid it out there for him to be one. And if the Constitution lay out there for be one, it's the same with in the army as the commander in chief. We don't see the format they lay out the chain of command, how then they constitute and institute administrative policies. I read Edward Billy talk about, say, EBK, former president, or the first president, where we make sure, say, it devolve the ministry to somebody else. Those are all formalities. Hold the cow, me hold the rope. It's fine. But when they come out to a question where they ask about, say, the military, they don't get involved so much in politics. Let's cut to the chase with all due respect. The military in our politics is so now ingrained and entrenched in our politics because of the complexities of every presidency in your term. If you look at who they choose for be the Minister of Defense, Kelly Hassan Conte, who are the Chief of Defense, Lieutenant General Sise, those names, what do they mean to you? What do they mean to you? As far as we're concerned, we look at when they say the role of the army when at internal security, when it comes to insurgency or civil unrest, because probably when they scatter around the topic, you skittish. When they scatter around the topic about insurgency and civil unrest, we don't see recently a spate or a rush of these things happening. And as such, if the army rushing, they're not rushing in to defend the president. Like where Edward say, it's not about the president, it's about the presidency. And these people take into cognizance their role for quell insurgency or civil unrest of that country. And we don't see civil unrest and the potential terrorist activities will want to take place in that country there. So as commander-in-chief, if he give his command to the Minister of Defense or whoever it is and say, I want this sorted out, because at the end of the day, now in government, now they get for hold responsible. I don't see why people should say this military is biased or is tilted towards that. It's a fine line. The Constitution walked a fine line and a fine balancing act here by saying these are your clear-cut roles, depending on the situation of the political climate that can determine or influence how far military they get involved in politics. It comes back to what we try to talk about, where Edward be try to talk about ranch of coups. That is a question that is a topic or an argument for another day. But why do the military get involved in our civilian politics? A lot of reasons. We don't need to spell that out. We don't need to spell that out now, but we know. So if the defense minister is party to waiting the government or the president want, so be it, because that they curtail a bit of insurgency, that they curtail a bit of people resorting to unrest. Thank you.
Mara, what do you think about what Farouk say, Edward?
Yes, Semepiel, first of all, like what we experience right now in Sierra Leone, sometimes we get issue with, we still get constitutional challenges, which sometimes some of it pain when people in the mess around with this constitutional review. For over 18 years, we will all come together as a nation for review our constitution. And every government, the process starts from Pakabe 10, and Escomen time, to President Bio in time. And even up to now, for 18 years, all what is happening around is like people are messing around with the constitutional review process, and we need to get headway into it. So many of the things the way they happen today, when we discuss them, you look at how we constitution, they play around issues. It get the public confused. I'm not legally minded, but I know one of the most confused constitution is the Leon Constitution. It's so confusing. You go read them from one end, they go to another end, it says different thing. But the lawyers and the judges are there to better interpret it. But my own point is, like what I say, the Constitution don't give so much power, to the commander-in-chief. First of all, let's see how the Constitution even describes the president. The president is the president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. Is fountain of honor. Is commander-in-chief. So it's like it's the alpha and omega. And then when we look at the security aspect there, if the president be elected as commander-in-chief, president of the Republic of Sierra Leone and fountain of honor, then the single responsibility now lies in the hands of the president, and also as Minister of Defense, for make sure it provide stability, peace, security for the people of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
And how you go do that? Now, when he gets all these layers around him, that's why I think every Monday or Tuesday, then they get Defense Council briefing, and where all of these things, I know I'm for going to much of that.
All right. So since you know I'm for going to that, let's bring you quickly again into another thing. Still we don't on the defense thing. And I read again inside the Constitution, again, at the reverse little bit to 166, section 166 of the chapter 11. It says, no person shall raise any armed force except by or under the authority of an act of parliament. we all know, when they talk about politics, we talk about the military. The military, when you talk about the Minister of Defense, they tell you plain one say the members, they're not in mixed pan politics, like out you Farouk. And they talk about insurgency and other things then. But let me look and just zoom into the special force within the military, when are the presidential task force. We know say them particularly in as much as they therefore protect the president, but they so much get involved into politics by their words, by their action and everything. And this now, the military they talk this, and this particular set of task force they talk and do things them where the military not able for take action. It's like they don't create this force out of the military, separately from the military, because we even hear the other day, Lahai Lawrence Lima, when I've been the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, the time when I've been Deputy Minister, tell we say the presidential task force able for take on the one on military as if this is a separate body on your own. So if that be the case, this particular clause, they tell we say you're not supposed to raise any armed group except you go through parliament. What do you take on this?
Like I said, if we can just quickly reflect on, we look at the coups the new wave of coups will take place at the Francophone countries. You go realize, say, not to the army and its broad aspect take over. Now the presidential guards, because they're closer to the presidency and they're more equipped and they get elitist privileges. We can always make them get proximity to the president and for able overthrow the president. This is the new thing that is the new normalcy in Africa. They don't create a particular section within the army where they rely on more for whatever reason. The most important thing, you talk about acts of parliament, is to go back, revisit that and say we don't need that. Because we don't find out, say, officials and personal grievances, it talk about Lehman. What did Lehman say? Parliament, a toothless bulldog. They don't seem to know what they want. All the powers which surround the presidency, it starts from the foundation of post-colonial leaders. They give themselves swaths of power, so many powers. They use Westminster model, they use American presidential, all the powers, then combine and they created a hybrid. Parliament, no, they look at that. Parliament people say we're bigger than the presidency, we're bigger than the executive presidency. But if they go around now, or people and they go around and say, hey, Parliament, now act of Parliament for determine a lot of things around the presidency, they're not doing it. And the president is going about having a free hand, having a field day, because the devil makes work for idle hands. Parliament is not doing anything. So what do we do? If the president take upon himself, he says, I want to protect myself. Because like I said, every country, a responsibility of a military, it depends on a lot of multifaceted issues.
But even with that, even if the president wants to protect himself, we get rights for do. But for now, it's still enshrined, it's still there inside the constitution. Say for establish anything like this until through the arm of through parliament. Whether parliament is effective or not, but for the sake of the respect of the constitution and the person who is supposed to protect the constitution, they get right for go through the parliament.
Are you talking like somebody from a textbook lecture?
Well, at the talk, I basically asked the question. I asked the question, Farouk, based on what I see inside the constitution, not to the practical part.
With all due respect, what is on paper? People don't respect the spirit of the law, not to talk about the letter of the law.
Okay.
All we're trying to say here is Parliament don't fold the hand for too long. Mm-hmm. And this is not just about Parliament. This is also about the judiciary stepping in. In England, we get what they call cases based on statute, or we get what they call statutory cases on statutory law. And sometimes individually, courts then they make a decision where they roll over and affect what in Parliament go do. But we don't do that. Because we hands are tied as members of Parliament. They talk out there now because you're not there in Sierra Leone. Probably you're sitting somewhere in France comfortably and throwing this at us out there. laudable, but with all due respect, Parliament has a role to play. You know what I mean? Say, because Parliament not do them, we for just sit tight. President could do anything for protect himself. Anything for make sure that empowers are entrenched and they are amplified. So what are you talking about? They're not doing the Constitution. Absence of the law, now presence of dictatorship. You for know that.
So Farouk, me role now for ask you question, and you role as well now for tell me what you don't tell me. So thank you very much. You know, Edward, like I'm over to you quickly. You know, I still go to the same part section where they talk about 166. No person shall raise any armed force except by or under the authority of an act of parliament. You know, but I put this again. The presidential task force now the newest armed force inside the military. What do you make up of this?
Well, in my own view and in my opinion, I think say, and even like within the Constitution, they say there is always disagreement to this. And the reason why they say so, now the fact that every regime where they come, you know, then the president will bring in people away, maybe infiltrate say a trust, you know, for lay in security, now they earn. We see that even when former President Koma bin there, there was a blend of both, you know, then serving personnel and some of them where they been on the out, then bring them back into the system. And again, it's happening currently also. We also sense that, like Kamibora they say, you know, Guinea, Alpha Conde, you know, he almost bringing this Dumbuya guy, you know, from France, you know, from nowhere, bring her into the security management, set up a special security, you know, structure for himself, just for guide himself, and then for provide them with all the necessary logistics for do that. I don't think say this will help in terms of our, you know, giving we state institution the require responsibility for perform. Sometimes when you set up a parallel administration in any establishment, and there are challenges to that, because at the end of the day, how the management they go, you know, things are not going before they go the right way, because you have a set of people. These are professional, trained, qualified, ready to perform the job. Then you bring somebody outside who is not professional, and the way income, now different thing will begin for do. So all I'm saying, like my brother said, we have a parliamentary committee on defense. They get their oversight functions, and these are things maybe for ensure there is check and balances. They able for provide oversight in all of the security challenges that we talk about, and also the military again. You know, they have their own challenges. They're able to come back and look at all that. But in generally, it's a problem we cut across, even in Africa now. And again, with our security structures and in Africa, everybody they look out for say, no, might get somebody who able for secure me and possibly with me trust where things say able for secure me. So it has been happening, and they continue for happen. And until we get the required framework or the required laws them and follow able for put this to an end, then it will continue for happen, because I don't see any leader who can and begin say, no, I just rely on no more now the security no more way that the police or the military way. I mean, they get the constitutional responsibility for protect me. They forget about other sectors. I'm sure it don't begin happen, it will continue for happen, and this, if you not put a stop to that, it will continue for happen. Because right now, like you guys mentioned, I not see any military where is so professional enough, well trained and professional, it will come publicly, you declare, you know, for a particular political party, and when you know say ethically is wrong, professionally is wrong, and you can be brought to book for that. There are disciplinary actions and all that. Like recently, certain military personnel were dismissed because they say
they were involved, they created a political group.
So this again make I agree with Farouk say two things they right now. You get the textbook law, you get the law where they happen now, the ground reality. So in the absence of the real law, then you get what we call dictatorship.
Yes. Quietly so, quietly stated. But like who can just say the irony and the paradox of where the junta, what they call junta, they usurp legitimacy from civilian democracy, is based on a lot of factors. The law, now the textbook law, that is what is fooling us. We need to be very proactive. We need to be very aggressively trenchant. I mean, we for be stubborn. We for put we foot down, but with choice of governance, the choice of civilian governance, what we they give, not what we they get. Now in the lead for let the president grow wings and fly and believe say it day above the other branches of governance. We for revisit. This is not just the role of parliament. We they talk about stability. We they talk about development. Then people they bring in say, oh now the military then get a special wing when an elitist wing we get leanings and we bias and we just they support the president. And when the president say jump, they know they ask why, then they say how high. But like I say, ironically, if you look across francophone countries, West African countries recently, the coups that will take place will succeed. Now the one that will be close to the president in back. The military out there can give their support, but the presidential guard are in the takeover. What do we do? How do we go about that? Sometimes parliament goes sit down and not do anything. We get a bigger role. You get a bigger platform. We had. Correct. You get a bigger platform. You need to talk constructively. You need to engage. You need to sensitize the general public, the higher institutions, the schools, the universities. Say, how do we go and tackle this thing for let the president get less power, let the military not seemingly, purportedly, seem to be serving the presidency or the president rather than the presidency, not the president and the country. They should be custodians. But as before I call the curtains down, we they realize that the military is jittery. If the military sees something wrong, they can step in. Because if they step in, people then they rise up against them. They say they are not equipped for governance. Regional blocks, they come hard on them. So where do we stand? Which is the way forward? You tell us what is the way forward.
Okay, so I'll come put the question back to Una in another way. But let's look at how fair the military as well they stick to in constitutional duties. Let's first of all listen to this quickly, and when they come back to Una, Gigi now.
Yesterday, today back, tomorrow.
I will basically explain to Una waiting if Una hear again clearly. Just some seconds.
APC, they say I don't die. The lion, they alive food. APC, they say I don't die. The lion, they alive. Now you, Papa, now you, Papa. Yesterday, now you.
So basically, waiting about the put, I want to know how fair the military be. You know, we just talk about the presidential task force. Everyone, Mara, you try to make reference to that, and you know, this now, of course, this is synonymous to political discussion now the media by the name, the nickname of Hungry Lion. Always they talk politics. Always they threaten one particular group or one set of people them. But one day we not see the military take any action against that set of people there. But you will see the military say that they sack people there for where they belong to WhatsApp group because they actually they see the names na list. Then they sack them for different purposes. But this whether they cause problem, them set of people how they cause problem every other day with the words and the action displaying their gun and thought politician, that was politician. One day we not see them take action. Maybe this we don't come to the end of the program. Edward.
Yeah, well, me think the ball stop with the president because being the commander-in-chief of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces and ethically, professionally, no students are with that we wrong. The president for not even taking the decision on and put some of these people aside, not so that not go give the military bad name, not go tell, damage the reputation of the military. Like I said earlier on, RSLAF don't come of age, their contribution to global peace and stability and also the internal peace. We don't see they don't make great improvement, they don't make great strikes. And even for rebrand the name itself from the Sierra Leone Army, till later on where they say Army turned to soldier, Army then turned to rebel, this and that.
Yeah, the People's Army, yeah. The
People's Army, all of them, they don't go through difficult times. They don't go through difficult times. And I know that the British government through IMAT and Nigerian government and the Ghanaian government, they spend so much money on the restructuring process of the RSLAP till they're able to try for change and rebrand. And even for that, they even change the name to the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. It's all landed been part of the image branding because they may not say and say that's a low soldier, where they may say SLA, then they don't become a stigma, to many Sierra Leoneans there. They get People's Army. Might be a product of SLA. Now SLA they be break away. So the other faction then go form People's Army. Some of them again later on break away, then go join the RUF. So these were challenging movements where the country been go through, where they may do the restructuring and find out this SLA where a name don't become a stigma now to the people of Sierra Leone. Not find a better name now where we'll be able for bring come in for try for do reputational damage, we don't cause into the institution. So they not go through that kind of transformation and they not of now we will begin to see back certain people within the force. And there's no way the RSLAF go dissociate himself from the actions of the individual. There's no way. Because as far as we know, as far as the public know, they are members of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. Now I make them well full combat, because me not think say me we should not as a civilian. Even for the fact that I mistake right now, I see one fine closeness when I even Apollo, but now combat like Aban. Then the military can hold me, they interrogate me, they say for common flag. Then go hold me because it's a crime. For our country, you don't put on military uniforms. You don't put on police uniform if you are not a police officer. You don't put in a military uniform if you're not a military personnel. So if somebody wear in full military uniform, they all gone, they make political statement, then whatever means it's people easily don't already associate that particular individual with the institution. So this is about the institution in image, in reputation. If the institution is really, really ready, for continue for protect the image, these are the bad ones that they get for try for remove them. Just like the one day where they say then sack them because they were involved in politics, they were making political statements, they make political posts on social media and all that. They say they investigate them, say they don't get rid of them. Then we also look forward to similar things to be applied to Hungry Lion, because for whatever reason, as far as I know, he's a member of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. Otherwise, me not expect for wear uniform, wear not to soldier. I not expect for whole gun, wear not to soldier. But because he get gone, because he wear a fully dressed with military uniform, then me no say he's a member of the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces, and that is my view. Okay. So I think we get for try as best as possible for law we really take this army like our own baby,
things that we said and they go wrong, we should be able, bold enough for correct them, for criticize them, so that they go do the right thing. The areas that we don't make gains, they don't make achievements, we can also able for come in, for tapping on them back, for telling thank you. Because I forget to mention two most important things that the military don't do for this country, we again are part of the war. When we had the Ebola, if we're not to be in the military, it will be very difficult for we. Then when we get the COVID-19, I know because most of them, I work with them, doing them period and day. And I know the hazard environment, the way they've been there, where they've been led in life. Because military is not about the only guns, neither they work for their country. Anything where they threaten the life of the citizens, like outbreak, now the military responsibility for coming because it's a security issue. So Ebola was a security issue. That's why the military came in. COVID-19 was a security issue. That's why they came in. And even recently, now when they don't begin embark on some, community services, by embarking on cleaning and all of that, and these are ways they don't contribute so much for tell and thank you. But if we get few ones them, where then they try for damage that and reputation the way they don't make that public confidence so they don't build up, then we for come out also and condemn them people and so that then we take action, forget them bad one and the out of the good ones then where they do, then they sacrifice, then they do a lot for the country.
Right. Okay, thank you, Edward. And Farouk, like I move on to you. What thing that you will last take? What do you feel? Say, I'll ask you the same question again.
I go to compatriot Mara in line on one basis. There are always misfits, miscreants in any institution, just like they will say there are bent cops, crooked cops everywhere. Does that mean if for tar the brush with everybody because of somebody and a misfit? This is an administrative flaw where the Minister of Defense or the Chief of Defense Staff for handle. That not for paint negatively or reflect negatively on the demonstrative efficiency or smooth running of how the military stand in relation to its political or its whatever affiliation or bias. Then can say if it's not broke, why fix it? Now, just like what Mara said, the army has done a lot, and the role of the army, we don't tabulate them, but maybe just the lay emphasis on two things we gear towards the question where you raise, say, is the army serving the president, where you before say the presidency, or the country. We don't give you two reasons why people they're not able differentiate when the military they serve the presidency or when it is serve the nation. We talk about defense when there is instability, when there is unrest, when there is the potential threat of terrorism, and what you don't see recently in our country. I don't tell you, say, political climate, our culture as well, it determine the role of the army. It determine to a large extent. Maybe we got uneasy times now in the country. Probably, unless ABK, former president, in your time, it been different. In your successor now, in your climate and culture, it calls for different measures to handle things. The land war that he calls, so whatever he did, swift and summary action should be taken against him so that it not go trickle down or it not go cut across and let people then feel say they with impunity they can do anything and they can get away with it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for that particular time for joining me. I think today we have talk military talk, although I'm not sure if Usai may be in team up, but still mean a question I've been asked Farouk and Edward inside the program this morning. And thank you very much because I don't do justice. At least we don't get some basic understanding about within the military they do right, what are the role, why then they take certain action and they like you just don't talk about the insurgency and other things them, attempted coup and waiting at the role as spelled out in the constitution. Of course you don't tell me say the textbook where me they talk and waiting at the reality are two different things. You're right, you're very much correct. And the reason that we always discuss things them, for we actually pull out from textbook and make it be practical. Thank you very much, Farouk, and thank you very much, Edward, for joining me inside the program this morning.
Thank you.
Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure doing business with you, sir.
Thank you. All right, sir. Okay, so now the two people in this, where we get inside the program this morning for discuss the different things them inside the show. Well, the producer for this program, thank you very much for we actually take time for put together this program. Today paper they not come out, but yet still we try for Comonado, yeah, but still we try for waiting they come tomorrow from the different people them. Until then we'll get for meet again inside another beautiful edition of a program where we call yes. Not forget for joining a net inside the program where we call We Are. My name Nasembe Pierre, the freedom fighter. I left you with this beautiful song where we call Big Fool.
Watch this country, fine, so big fool. Big man, potent so big fool. Look at with him, we get lipstick, so big fool. This nation don't turn so big fool. BSc, MSc, PhD, they're so big fool. The one they will lambook at this country, so big fool. And then same one they spoil this country, so big fool. Big English, big jargon, so big fool. See them in a parliament, so big fool. See them in a law court, so big fool. See them full up now in state house, so big fool. See them chairman, director, so big fool. Party supporters, so big fool. We party supporters, so big fool. We safe way they so far, so big fool. Yes, the wire say now they want them, they want this in a they wire. Now this with the pan, so draw. Politics don't mess with progress as a people. Politics don't put wedge together to the things we hold us together. Hey, salute, see how we done deeply divided along politics and party line. So pull the tribal lens, come